Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and this video today we've got something special here. We've got a big moment for the channel. Got some new headphones for my brother-in-law, and that is going to allow me to add background music to these videos. You guys got to let me know if it's too loud or not. I was playing around with it. I felt it's at a good volume, but you got to tell me if you think the music is at the right volume or not. So again, guys, thank you so much for putting up with the silence in my videos. Hopefully these new headphones, can help me create better content, provide a better production quality. So again, like and subscribe, comment down below. We're going to talk about new characters and the problem that they are posing in Galaxy of Heroes. And how I arrived at this was actually thinking about new characters I wanted to see added. And as I did that, I kind of got nervous and scared because I was like, man, we get new characters. Like, I don't know that they're actually going to help new players. They're really geared towards these endgame rosters. So let's get into it. First and foremost, let's thank the channel members for all their continued support. Again, if you're ever interested, that link is down below along with the Discord, guys. That would just, I'd love seeing people join the Discord. And again, obviously channel memberships are great too, but the Discord is a great place. There's a lot of good advice on there. So again, thank you for putting your faith in me, guys. Let's get into this video. So, as I was thinking of the characters I'd love to see added, I came up with this list where I want more characters from Solo. We're missing Beckett, Rio, Val. I'd love to see those guys. I mean, Dryden Voss isn't in the game either, but these three in my mind really stick out. Like the Beckett crew, I think that'd be really good. Kind of build this faction back up because you've got some good characters from this. You got L3, Enfys Nest, Vandor Chewie, and Range Trooper. But then these guys, I mean, they're okay, but they're not really anything special. Then you've got Price and Callus missing from Rebels. I would love to see more Rebels content. We did get some additional stuff here with Captain Rex. We got the TIE Defender, but I'd really love to see more from the Empire side of things. And you could argue some of the Inquisitors were there, but I want more. I want more Rebel stuff. And then finally, give me some more clones. Give me Wolf, Gregor, Heavy, and of course the GOAT himself. Give me 99s. I think adding more clone troopers would be awesome. We kind of have these two guys like Cody and Clone Sarge who just kind of sit there, do nothing. Adding in some additional clones to go with them, I think would be really good. And of course, who doesn't love 99s, man? We got it. Like, we love 99s. 99s is the man, right? I mean, talk about making grown men cry. 99s, you did the job. So, but all this led me to thinking, like, how does this impact players in the early parts of the game? How does this impact players in that mid game? And I was like, man, I don't know if it actually helps getting any of these because of the problem. And the problem is that at the end game, the releases either are characters like these guys who are great for territory wars. Like if you go to Maw Chromium in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.gg and you look at their Omicrons, they have 147 total Omicrons on Boba Fett signed at Django. Like, that is crazy that they have almost every single Omicron on him because he's great for territory wars. But not so great in Grand Arena, which a lot more players care about than territory wars, so he's viewed as a trash character. Same thing with Admiral Trench, another one who everybody's like, oh, Trench is on the bench because he's not great in Grand Arena. Then you kind of move into these characters like Bo-Katan, who's amazing right now, Dark Trooper Gideon being very good in multiple game modes, and then Darth Bane, who is going to be the Sith Eternal lifter unit that we've been waiting for, going to be a very, very big deal. But this is kind of the problem that we're seeing, is that these characters are so geared towards the late and end game. And while, yes, that's a great thing and that helps drive revenue, it does kind of leave some of those players in the mid game kind of just left to do, like, I don't know what to do, right? We're in this weird, like, very weird position. And then you look at the requirements for them, and it poses another problem, and that's the power creep problem. Obviously, Beskar Mando, he's been in the game a long time, but got a specific call out in Bo-Katan Mandalore's kit to be even better. And then Keller and Beck coming in, completely revolutionizing the Qui-Gon Jinn team, completely changing how you have to counter that team. IG-12, Paz Vizsla, coming in to the Bo-Katan Mandalore team, being very, very good characters. And that's something that was missing from some of the earlier releases we used to get, where there were some characters who were kind of like, they're all right, they're not great. Like, these are 3 hits, no misses in my opinion. Then you come down to even to like the Jedi Knight Cal Kestis requirements, and you had 3 game-changing characters, and game-changing at the end game. Marin, Seer, Cal Kestis, all 3 of those characters hugely game-changing to Galaxy of Heroes. They've completely revolutionized the way that you do offense and defense. While characters like Tarful and Saw Gerrera, everybody's like, oh, they're kind of trash, they're kind of meh. Actually, they're very solid. Just not at the end game, but they're still solid through, the vast majority of players who, if you go farm Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, you've got a Tarful team, you've got a Saw Gerrera team, they're still very solid teams. It still takes some big things to kill them. It's just at the end game, you have everything else available to you. So the issue with these new characters is that if they're not end game viable, they're viewed as trash. And that's such a bad place to be, because the vast majority of this game is not competing in Kyber 1 or Kyber 2 or Kyber 3. It's below that. That's where the vast majority of the player base is. I mean, even going back to the Leia characters here, where they were all hits, no misses, and they're all heavily impactful at every stage of this game. So I feel like if we got these new characters, right, that I just pointed out here, the impact they have on the early game might not be what we want and might not be what we need in this game. And that to me is kind of scary, because if we don't get characters that help players through those earlier stages of the game, you just fall further and further behind. Because here's what happens, is that right now, Bo-Katan she's not even at the peak of her powers, because she's probably getting a Datacron. So she's going to get a Datacron. So everyone who has Bo-Katan right now, getting the benefit that we don't know how to beat her, she's super powerful, and then she gets a Datacron and becomes something ridiculous. And then she'll kind of fade off a little bit. She'll still be a good character, but other things will come into the game. She'll lose a bit of the value that she has. And so by the time that those players who were newer at her release finally do get her, she's lost some of that value and there's something newer. Now, of course, that's what drives this game, right? I can't say that we can't have that in the game, because that is what drives revenue. But it's also the characters that go along with her, that by the time players go there and they get Keller and Beck, there may be somebody better, or that team isn't nearly as good. And so the problem with these new characters is that their addition needs to be something that sometimes we either have to be okay that they're just a mediocre character, because they're not designed to help you at the late part of the game. They're designed to help you early on. Or we need to just accept that that the power creep in this game is just going to continue. I feel like we can't have our cake and eat it too. That if I want Arnold to spend money on the game, these characters need to be like this. But then it means that also the farmability, the accessibility of these characters needs to change a little bit for newer players. That, okay, you're going to move these guys all onto hard nodes. Well, let's move some of those older characters off or put them together, because you can't expect players to keep just farming hard nodes for years and years and years and years and years for every single thing in this game. So I think my big issue, kind of coming full circle, saying the big issue with all this new stuff, is that the power creep is not only just involved in, hey, their abilities are good, but also the stats, and then finally it's the longevity of them. That you think of Starkiller now kind of starting to lose some of the value that he once had, with Datacrons that have come in, extra relic levels that have come in, new characters kind of going into the teams that he was beating before. It's something that as he's losing this value, Bo-Katan is here to kind of save the endgame players, while everybody else is going to sit there and be like, gosh, we're struggling through this. So all that said, guys, I think this is kind of my issue with the new characters coming in. The characters I'd love to see, but I think that if they came in, they're only really going to help the end game, and I think that's a problem. Because the end game is, like, just, if they don't help the end game, they're viewed as trash and they're a failure of a character. If they're meta-changing and game-changing, then it hurts the players who are trying to catch up to the end game, because they don't have them for the period of time that they're at the peak of their powers. So that's the end of my, rambling rant. You guys let me know what you think. Of course, like, subscribe, comment. I love all you. May the force be with you, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.